right now, Dr. Ming Wang. I know you stepped away. I was just apparently that was practice.
Welcome to the OMG Podcast with Paul Finkelstein. Great advice and talk with small business owners, workaholics, whiz bang entrepreneurs, and interesting guests. Here's your host, Paul Finkelstein.
And now I'm back. We might not have seen the live red light symbol at the top left, so we are definitely live on my Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'm Paul Finkelstein with the Small Business Owner Podcast, SPI or OMG, which stands for SPI with Sarah and Paul International, because my wife and I started this in-person networking group and podcast for small business owners, workaholic professionals, and entrepreneurs. We're going to be talking about the author of this great book called Sight. This is actually the trailer of his book, which we'll talk about later. I just got his book here, and let's read his intro up on the screen. Rather, I'll read it to you here. Dr. Ming Wang is a Harvard and MIT graduate, MD, magna cum laude, and is one of the few laser physics. The film Sight is based on Dr. Wing's autobiography From Darkness to Sight, co-starring Greg Kinnear. As a teenager, Ming fought poverty and hardship in China and came to America with only $50 in his pocket and earned 2 doctorate degrees. Graduated with the highest honors from Harvard Medical's contact lens, which Dr. Wang invented, for which he holds 2 U.S. patents. Has been used by tens of thousands of eye doctors in nearly every nation around the world, and millions of patients have their eyesight restored. The Wang Foundation for Sight Restoration has helped patients from all over 40 states in U.S. and 55 countries with all sight restoration. The Kiwanis Nashvillian of the Year for his lifelong dedication to help blind orphan children from all over the world. So here's his book, and I just wanted to take just 2 seconds to read or reread 2 of the testimonials in his book live here on my Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Bill Haslam of the governor state of Tennessee says, "If I didn't know Ming, it would be hard to believe the story of his life, but I do know him. And his life is truly remarkable of faith, persistence, and excellence." And Carl Dean of the mayor of Nashville, Ming Wang is well known for his eye surgeries, who performed countless people better sight. And it's hard to forget that he's also a ballroom dancer. Once you've seen one of his ads on TV. But what many people don't know is that Dr. Wang also gives generously of his time, talent, so that blind children in many countries can regain their sight. What better gift can give someone? Nashville, as well as in his book. I wish that there were more. I want to see more of them. I know you have tons of them, but let's bring up Dr. Ming Wang to have a little discussion about everything. I can't believe he's actually here. So let's do a double split screen. There he is. How are you today, Dr. Ming Wang?
Good morning, Paul. Thank you so much to be on your OMG show.
Thank you for being here. Let's dive in and ask you a couple of questions now. So, Dr. Wang, could you tell us about the film Sight? It was made based on your autobiography From Darkness to Sight, correct?
Yes. About 10 years ago, I wrote a book. I'm an immigrant from China. I'm practicing ophthalmology in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm a laser eye surgeon. That means I perform LASIK surgery, cataract surgery. I've done about 55,000 procedures, including on over 4,000 doctors. So 10 years ago, I wrote the book From Darkness to Sight, which is my background, you see. And a studio approached me, and they made it into a big Hollywood movie. As a matter of fact, it took almost 10 years to make the film, and they did it, co-starring Greg Kinnear. And the film won all kinds of awards, including ICVM International Christian Film Award, one of the biggest awards in Christian film space, and also Harland International Film Festival, one of the top 25 film festivals in the world. The film has not been released yet. So, Paul, what you saw at Delray Beach Theater was a private screening, and we hope that the film will be released about the mid part of this year throughout the United States, and everybody get a chance to see. The film site's theme, it's about freedom. We live in a country, there's so many immigrants like myself all over the world, including so many refugees and, fighting their lives so they can get a chance to come to live in America. But living here in America, sometimes we may have taken what we have, the freedom, for granted by no longer being willing to work together across political aisles, racial divides, and ethnic divisions. So Side is a story from an immigrant who used to not have freedom, and to remind all of us how precious freedom in America is and how much we need to work together to overcome our polarization and find common ground.
I know there might be some delays in the internet. I guess that's the nature of the beast of the internet. But if you could hear this now, what is the message of the film site?
Can you repeat your question? You were cut off by the internet glitch.
Did you hear that
So,
question?
Paul, can you repeat your question? No, your question was cut off by the internet interruptions.
Yes. What is the message of the film site?
Oh,
Yeah.
the message of
What
film
is the
site. Yeah,
message of the
Paul,
film site?
thank you. Paul, I take care of people with vision problems every day, restoring their sight. Who appreciate sight the most are those who used to be blind. Who appreciate freedom the most are those used to not have freedom. So I'm someone who used to not have freedom. So sight is about reminding all of us here in America today how precious the freedom that we have in America today. And we should not take it for granted. We need to appreciate America more by being more willing to overcome our polarization and find common ground.
Well, thank you for that. I know sometimes the internet doesn't really go in our favor, but the beauty of a longer podcast is you're 2 minutes into the video and catch the really good part. That being said, I think you did talk about all kinds of awards that the film has won, and maybe you want to talk about any other insight into the awards the film won, as well as Greg Kinnear is in the film site, correct?
I did not catch second half of your question. I did not.
Okay. The second half was just adding on Greg Kinnear is in the film, right?
Yes, yes. I had the pleasure of working with Greg Kinnear, as many of your
Greg
viewers know.
Kinnear.
Yeah, and as many of your viewers know, he was in a film uh, with Jack Nicholson many years ago, Helen Hunter, and it was a film called uh, many films that Greg Kinnear was in, and so I I had the pleasure working with him on set in the film site, and he was a great actor and a great friend.
Fantastic. So Site talks about the invention of a remarkable technology that has restored eyesight to millions. Could you tell us about that?
Yes. Um, Site inside that it has about to do with the charity work we've been doing at our Site Foundation to help blind orphan children from around the world with all surgeries performed free of charge. To date, our foundation, the Wang Foundation for Sight Restoration in Nashville, Tennessee, we have helped patients from over 40 states in America and over 55 countries worldwide. So in the movie Sight, that talk about, I met a 5.5-year-old Indian orphan, Kajal, who was intentionally blinded by her own stepmother, who poured sulfuric acid into Kajal's eyes one night in trying to make Kajal a blind orphan child who can sing on the street, who will beg get more money. After Kajal was maliciously blinded, she was found to have no talent of singing. She couldn't sing. That's why she was abandoned in the train station near Calcutta, India. So we find her there. Our foundation brought her to America. So Sight is about her remarkable journey, as so many other blind orphan children that our foundation has been able to help over the years in trying to come from darkness to light. In the process, I did lots of research and trying to figure out a way to restore Kajal's eyesight by reducing the scarring in her eyes. And you know who who does not scar? Unborn child does not scar. So how could you do research on unborn child, the fetus, to learn how to figure out a way to reduce scar in our patients, such as Kajal, without hurting the fetus? People say that there's no common ground between science and the moral ethical faith principles. However, fortunately, I did not give up. I kept on researching. I was working with many doctors, including a leading doctor here in South Florida, Bascom Palmer Eye Institute, at the time, Dr. Sen. And we worked together for many years. And so we started using the placenta. And so using the placenta, the idea was that perhaps a fetus, an unborn child, can heal without scar is because some kind of a chemical factor secreted by the amniotic membrane surrounding an unborn child before birth. So I got many of the bloody placentas from hospitals after mothers deliver their babies. The placenta was going to be discarded anyway. So it's a way to do fetal research without hurting the baby. So long story short, eventually we developed the amniotic membrane contact lens. When we put these youthful healing fetal amniotic membrane contact lens onto injured eyes, we find that indeed the scar is much reduced and sight is restored. Amniotic membrane contact lens has now been used by tens of thousands of eye doctors throughout the world in nearly every nation, and millions of patients have had eyesight helped or restored. In fact, in South Florida, one of the major problems affecting people's eye health is dry eyes. Dry eye is one of the leading manifestations of aging of the eye, and amniotic membrane contact lens has been one of the new and powerful treatments for dry eyes, the aging eyes.
That's probably the best part so far of this interview is that whole description you said. about your patent be released. I think I saw an email that this year your movie is.
Yes, the film Sight, based on my autobiography From Darkness to Sight, we hope it'll be released in the mid part of 2024 in theaters across the United States.
So how could one help spread the word about the movie Sight?
Um,
Let the internet unphrase them.
yes, appreciate that. We greatly appreciate people's support to this film, important film about the story of an immigrant, about appreciating what we have in America, the freedom, and reminding us we need to appreciate America by being more willing to overcome our polarization and find common ground. So one can support the film by visiting my website, which is drmingwang.com, DRMINGWANG.
Now I know one of your questions that we talked about was is there a trailer for Sight? I'll just I'll say that you sent me the trailer and I'll put that up directly on my Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube if that's okay. And to go with this to deal with the internet interview is not perfect, but we'll put the trailer up for you to get the word out. If one wants to help the Wang Foundation for Sight Restoration, where should they go for that?
Appreciated. Any support is much appreciated so we can help more blind orphan children from around the world, such as Kajal and Maria, featured in the film Sight. And our foundation's website for donation is wangfoundation.com, WANG, foundation.com.
Now, in that last question, I think you touched upon a couple of eye conditions. There's five eye conditions that affect everyone, and you said that doctors now can treat all five of those conditions.
Yes, many eye conditions affect some folks, like diabetes, glaucoma, macular degeneration. However, the following 5 eye conditions affect everyone. Everyone. Those 5 conditions are nearsightedness, farsightedness, astigmatism, presbyopia or aging eyes. When you get over age 45, it's hard to read up close, and cataracts. So nearsightedness, farsightedness, astigmatism, presbyopia, and cataracts. And the good news for 2024 is that finally we have conquered all 5 conditions. Now, as doctors, we can treat all 5 human eye conditions that affect everyone.
So those top technologies that treat those five human eye conditions, what are they?
There are 4 technologies. So 4 top technologies today in the world that treat these 5 human conditions. And these 4 top technologies are SMILE, implantable contact lens, forever young lens, and laser cataract surgery. And the first one is SMILE. Do you all know that LASIK surgery is going out of date? LASIK surgery is becoming obsolete. It's now being replaced by a new procedure called SMILE, small incision procedure. Second, implantable contact lens. If you wear contact lenses and you do not want to have to go, remove the contact lens at bedtime every night, we got a technology at Wang Vision Institute in Nashville, Tennessee, that we can actually put the contact lens literally inside your eyes, so you never need to remove it. The third is Forever Young lens. For those who are over age 45, we can actually treat the aging eyes, decrease decrease the ability to read things up close. And so it's called Forever Young lens or refractive lens exchange. And the last of these top four technologies are laser cataract surgery. I don't know if the viewers know that cataract surgery today in year 2024 can be performed either with laser or blade. But laser is much better, more accurate and safer. But do you know in America, what % of cataract surgeries are performed with laser? Only 5 to 10%. So vast majority are still performed without laser today in America. So in fact, all these four top technologies, SMILE, implantable contact lens, Forever Young lens, and laser cataract surgeries are only performed by less than 5% of US surgeons today in America. And the reason for that is because medicine today is no longer the medicine of yesterday. Medicine today is medicine plus technology, such as laser. And most doctors are strong in medicine. They've got MD by going to medical school, but they have not got in-depth training in the other side.
Well, if the internet is not.
So most doctors have not received strong training in technology, such as laser. So in America, these four technology are used by less than 5%
I know your
surgeons.
eye technology is way better. About the new eye technology. You said that there was a weekly Zoom meeting on Tuesday evenings.
Yes. Yeah, in our center, every Tuesday,
You
7:45
want to talk about
p.m. East.
the Zoom meeting you have
Yes.
on
Every Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yes, every Tuesday at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time, such as tonight, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time, we provide a vision Zoom in which we talk about all these state-of-art four technologies and amniotic membrane contact lens. So if one is interested in attending our weekly Tuesday 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time Vision Zoom, one can visit drmingwang.com, DRMINGWANG. At Wang Vision Institute in Nashville, Tennessee, even though these top four technologies are used in America, only 5% or less doctors in America, we use these top four technologies 100% of the time. We're leading the nation in the percentage of high-tech technology application in eye surgeries.
So if somebody wants to find more information about these Zoom meetings that are weekly, just go to wangvisioninstitute.com.
Yes, or drmingwang.com, DRMINGWANG.
Okay, Doctor, information about the weekly Zoom meetings. Is there any last thoughts that you want to add, or I'll do a recap?
The last thought I want to add are two key points that, Paul, you have covered today in your OMG show. Appreciate the opportunity again. Number one, welcome everybody to the movie Sight, which will be released most likely in the mid part of 2024. The movie is based on my autobiography, From Darkness to Sight, co-starring Greg Kinnear. And the movie is about the story of a Chinese immigrant who came from a situation where there was no freedom to America, where there is freedom. And through the story of an immigrant fighting for opportunities and realize his American dream, the message is to inspire all of us to be reminded that we are living in one of the greatest countries on this planet. We should not take the freedom we have in America for granted. We should be more willing to work across political aisles, racial divides, and ethnic divisions. We should be more willing to overcome our polarization to find the common ground that we all have as fellow Americans so that we can solve the problem in our society today: gun violence, opioid crisis, drugs and environmental disasters, racial tension, economical and educational challenges. Second thing I want to say, so welcome to the film Sight. If you want to find out more about the film Sight, is you can find in drmingwang.com. DRMINGWANG. The second thing we've gone through today is the development of this new technology, amniotic membrane contact lens, which is featured in the film Sight, the story of the invention, and also the top 4 eye surgery technologies that for the first time have enabled us to treat all 5 human eye conditions: nearsightedness, farsightedness, astigmatism, presbyopia, and cataracts. If one is interested in learning about these top 4 technologies in year 2024 to treat these 5 conditions that affect every one of us, you're welcome to tuning our weekly Tuesday Vision Zoom at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time by tuning in just by clicking drmingwang.com, DRMINGWANG. And again, I'm Dr. Ming Wang. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I perform laser vision surgeries, and I've done about 55,000 procedures, including on over 4,000 doctors. And finally, I want to say that, medicine today is about medicine and the technology. So I'm very lucky to have training in both areas. I've got a PhD in laser physics from Maryland and MIT, and an MD, second doctorate degree, from Harvard and MIT.
Like, thank you for being here, Dr. Ming Wang. As a recap, I mean, Dr. Ming Wang talked to us about Sight, and based on his autobiography, Darkness to Sight. You can get this book probably at any bookstore or Amazon, I believe. And also, he taught us about the message of the film Sight. Greg Kinnear is in the film. Sight talks about a remarkable technology invention that restores eyesight to millions. He talked to us about when the movie will be released. I did see the premiere movie in Delray Beach, which was a privilege to be here, considering you're in Nashville and we're in Delray Beach. It was great to meet you and your wife down here in Delray Beach as well, and to learn about your passion. He talked to us about how we could help spread the movie and a bunch of others. And we'll go off the air shortly after Tony has the last word. Tony, who's Tony? Tony is the guy that does my voiceovers.
You have been listening to the OMG podcast with Paul Finkelstein. Help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG podcast segment.